Alrighty, welcome guys. It is good to be back. I know it's been a minute, but we are going to be far more active from now till November. So with that, there will be many tears and of course, newborn sons. So stay tuned. Of course, sadly, I am back under the typical circumstances where Steel City release an update. The casual audience loves it, whereas the core Undisputed community can see through the bells and whistles. Gotta be honest, it's getting tiresome. However, it's got to be done. So today, this is going to be more of a chilled out, off the cuff session, but I'm mostly going to be elaborating on my last video on Claimer Uncut, entitled The State of Undisputed. Let's first touch base with the current state of the game and the general consensus amongst the community, which I'd say is mixed. You have those of the perspective that Steel City are trying, they're genuinely listening to the community, and by launch, we'll have a worthy game which meets our expectations, and overall, it's going to be in the right place. Now, on the flip side, you'll have those who live in the real world. Perhaps you're someone who works up the career ladder and you have experience working with sales and marketing. Maybe you're a manager yourself, so you know what's said between managers and you know what goes on behind the curtains, such as the nature of anti-consumerism tactics. So when someone like Will Kinsler or Boxing Fanatico, who are hired and paid to sell the game, tells you in every video update, "We've listened to the community's feedback," instead of just taking their word for it, I'm sure you're watching the footage. And just as you're trying to work out what's been fixed, they transition to another clip, and then 2 minutes are up. So what's been shown, other than Boxing Fanatico showing the same combination over again against the AI, with the highlight being a knockout, an overhead? Surely you can understand, for those who notice this pattern, why some of us might just be a little bit hesitant to start worshipping our overlords. So where do we go from here? You see, there is a very simple solution which will remove all doubt. I mentioned this in the main video, but let's expand on it. All Steel City need to do is provide us with a traditional development update video which is uncut, unedited, and showcases two players who are unaffiliated from Steel City, specifically Twitch players known for using exploits, demonstrating their latest build. That is the simple solution going forward, and there's no reason we can't get that in the next update. So a few of you were under the impression that I work with Steel City behind the scenes. Let's be clear, I am completely ghosted by Steel City, and that includes the majority of their partnered content creators too. When I critique the game, Steel City address some of those issues in a hotfix 5 days later. They will congratulate one another and act as if I don't exist. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter how much my feedback helps the game. If a positive light is shined on me, it creates a dark shadow on the grifters and opportunists who have degrees in selling snake oil and are here to ride the gravy train, which leads me smoothly on the unofficial content creator partnership program, where a bunch of content creators who coincidentally have a very similar digital footprint covering UFC, of which I accused some of them of being partially responsible in destroying the EA UFC franchise, which I'll quickly elaborate. They promote the game around the clock all year, despite knowing it's broken. Whilst playing the game, they portray themselves as having so much fun, which in turn helps EA drive sales without the need for paid promotions. Crazy. So therefore, if the game continues to sell, there is nothing to fix. And that is precisely why I take issue with it when it comes to a game that I genuinely want to succeed. And the joke of it is, they're all too happy to call Martial Mind a shill, despite the fact they wouldn't have these opportunities if it wasn't for Martial Mind creating that lane. And when you consider that Martial Mind is almost a millionaire, I'd rather sell my soul for that amount of money to give my family a good life than sell my soul for chicken scraps. So, for the content creators who think I'm devaluing you, let me offer you a perspective you're likely not accustomed to.
So here today to announce our new program, EA Sports Game Changers.
I worked with a sales manager who recruited content creators to promote their jewelry line. He would tell his team before they arrive, make sure they feel like their opinion matters. I'll repeat that. Make them feel like their opinion matters.
We had them get together and sign a ball officially for Anton. So
he'd sit them down with the rest of the team and ask them for their opinions. These influencers, who weren't exactly high achievers in life, would leave the office with a feeling of achievement, purpose, and value.
I'm overwhelmed at the opportunity to be part of the Game Changers. I work really hard.
Meanwhile, the actual employees who studied to get to their positions would ridicule them for their lack of education, low IQ, and the hustle of promoting their products for no guaranteed financial gain. So when you guys collectively debate with me in the Discord, arguing that 2 + 2 = 5, you're under the impression that I'm trying to devalue you, but I'm just trying to wake you up. Growing your channels, promoting exclusive content before anyone has it, is it worth the torment and accusations of being called shills? That's for you to answer, and there is a simple solution. Cover the game on your channels without being an official partner. If you make good content, you'll still get views, and there will be no reason for people to question your authenticity. Let's move on to key things I'm concerned about for the official release. Now, in one of their videos, it looks as if the diagonal dodge has a very slightly different animation, but there's a big problem. The dodge clearly doesn't have a stamina deterrent. So let me confirm why this will be a game killer. When you play locally with a friend, you typically have a gentleman's agreement not to take advantage of exploits. Now, to be honest, I didn't realize how many of you don't play online. I can tell you from experience, 95% of the matches you'll play will be against someone who wants to win at all costs. If you come across anyone with TTV at the end of their name, just know that they have a Twitch channel and their success depends on appearing to be an elite player. And the diagonal dodge is the go-to weapon to avoid having any sort of a boxing match. You have no concerns about distance. Just imagine it. You have all these plans of how to enter the pocket, yet the guy in front of you is moving like a gazelle left and right, which means every second you have to reconsider your plan. Now, without a stamina deterrent, they can do that the entire match, and in most occasions you will not be able to fight back unless you do it as well. That's not a boxing match. Now, I've brought this issue up since the diagonal dodge was first introduced, but with every update they don't fix it, which is a telltale sign that they want it to be that way. Now, that logic I think also applies to the overpowered fighters in the game. For example, the Addy slap, which penetrates your block, because likely the licensing arrangement is perhaps that Ali needs to have that dominant presence. In addition, I think they always want the casual players to have the ability to regain momentum, which gives you both an even chance of winning despite a clear skill gap. That might sound crazy, I know, but think about it. If you're a casual player who doesn't have the ability to adapt, the easiest way to keep you playing is to turn you into a cheesing troll. Those are the players who make up most of the online community right now. Now, despite me bringing up these negative points, I'm actually quite hopeful, and it's not just related to Undisputed. Even if the game is not perfect on release, I'm hoping the game captures a large audience because we need competitors to see there is a demographic who are in need of an authentic boxing game. I'd like to think that the early buzz for Undisputed will encourage the likes of Overhand Interactive to learn from Undisputed's mistakes. Let's face it, that's two developers working on the game in their own time, and considering their last update was what, 3 months ago? It wouldn't surprise me if their next update is going to be really good. Plus, they clearly have no interest in overselling the game. Then of course we've got the potential of EA Sports bringing back the Fight Night franchise, and why this matters is because this would be the first time EA Sports have a competitor, which means they would be more willing to offer a more substantial budget to ensure they develop a better game than Undisputed, and that in turn would encourage Undisputed to step their game up. Healthy competition is the key to the creation of a solid boxing game which caters to the audience's needs as opposed to lining companies' pockets. But listen, those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think. Also, don't forget to join my Discord, link in the description, and I'll see you guys on October the 8th. Take care, peace.